Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Everest Networks. Today's host is Ryan McKenzie. He is their North American sales, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box, and Ryan will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Ryan, thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate it so very, very much. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over. The floor is now yours.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. And thank you to everyone that has joined us today. Again, my name is Ryan McKenzie, and today we are planning to do an introduction to Everest Networks. In our discussion today, we'll use the theme of elevating your Wi-Fi experience to take you to the next level. And so let's jump right in and get started. As has been mentioned, my name is Ryan McKenzie. I've been in the industry for about 17 years. I have worked with Microcom and a number of, many of you I'm sure as well, over those years, and have enjoyed and loved the wireless experience as I've gotten to know the industry better. Let's talk a little bit about Everest Networks. The idea behind this webinar is to give a brief introduction, as Everest Networks is a relative newcomer to the wireless networking world. In 2012, Everest Networks originated as a doctorate program out of the University of Montreal. In 2014, we incorporated as Tembo Systems, and then shortly after received funding from Panasonic. So many times in the marketplace, you will see us branded as Panasonic, and that is because Panasonic is our big brother. We have worked very closely with Panasonic. They are a major investor of ours, and for the first portion of our life, we started to sell direct through Panasonic. So in 2016, we actually introduced our first products, and those were brought to market through Panasonic direct sales, mainly through the sports and entertainment division of Panasonic, which is where we have most of our first wins. In 2017, we were proud to be the first or to have the first NFL stadium deployment with our product. That has gone swimmingly well, and we will discuss that more throughout the rest of the webinar today. In 2018, we opened our sales channel up to distribution, which is what brings us here. Microcom is a valued distribution partner, and we look forward to expanding the relationship with Microcom as we expand our coverage to resellers such as yourself. So I would encourage you to reach out and touch base with your Microcom sales rep, as they have been briefed on the Everest Networks product, and will help you wade through everything that is needed to know about our product. So let's jump in and get started on what Everest Networks does and why we feel like we have the next best thing in wireless. So first of all, let's talk about the evolution of Wi-Fi, where it has come from and where it is going, because this helps to understand our origin story and why we are doing what we're doing. We all know that wireless is a big part of today's networking world. In 2000, we really started with basic connectivity, and it started to become more and more of a valued asset, not only in homes, but also in enterprise. In enterprise, in the 2010 era, it started to become a part of everyday life in enterprise. In mid 2015, you really started to see Wi-Fi get to the point with 802.11 AC that you could now have Wi-Fi as fast as Ethernet. And now you have offices that are being built, for example, in the enterprise space that are all wireless, saving money on Ethernet poles, saving money on expensive hardware, and going completely wireless with just laptops and devices. Of course, every time that a new standard comes out, there's more requirements. So by using wireless, you have to have better analytics, security policies, you have to be able to scale. And all of these things we have taken into consideration as we have designed the Everest Networks offering. To step back and look at where we have come from and why we started the way that we did. In the enterprise market, high density Wi-Fi is a standard nowadays. It used to be that you'd have 1 or 2 devices per person, and now it's very common not only in enterprise but also in guest Wi-Fi that you have 3 or 4 devices per person. And of course, we all know that that's continuing to increase and grow. Now, we live in a high density world. So in that high density world with a number of Wi-Fi clients that need to connect and stay connected, we've all seen this if we've been in wireless for some time. And that is that by putting in Wi-Fi, every system works great when the building is empty. But as soon as that building fills up, Wi-Fi slows to a crawl. There's a number of different reasons for that. And we could spend hours just talking about Wi-Fi and how it works, and how over the last 10 years, as network engineers, we've really had to design from what used to be coverage. We used to design Wi-Fi just to cover an area, to now we have to design for capacity, and the capacity of not only the number of devices that are connecting, but the amount of throughput. And coverage really becomes almost a secondary thought at that point. So at Everest, when we started our product line, we first sought to understand why these rules applied. Why is it that high density Wi-Fi doesn't work? And then we built a product using proprietary and patented technology. We have a number of patents and proprietary intellectual property that made these things a rule of the past. Today we'll touch basically on some of these so that you can get an idea as to what we do a little bit different than everyone else. So first, let's look at the standard way of building Wi-Fi. If we take a standard university lecture hall, as the greater number of users and devices have entered into this Wi-Fi world, the standard Wi-Fi solutions really have limited answers. The best way to increase capacity is to increase the number of APs. We've all seen this where we go to a convention center or where we go to a large open area, like, for example, a university lecture hall. And instead of having one large AP in the middle, we have multiple APs, usually in an omnidirectional type of format. Now, while this has served its purpose for some time, it introduces some interesting challenges. Number one, we have increased wiring and installation costs, because now we have 5 APs, for example, in this scenario, as opposed to 2. We have increased RF interference now. That's a big problem that we have to accommodate for, and engineers have to account for. And of course, every time you add more hardware, you have more support costs and maintenance costs. So we introduced high definition or high density Wi-Fi access points. We do have standard access points as well, but the thing that makes us special is our 4 radio access points. We have 4 that are showing on the screen now, and they vary in a number of different ways, from highly directional antennas to more wide gain antennas. The thing that makes us unique here is that we have 3 5 gigahertz simultaneous broadcast and receive antennas in all of our HD Wi-Fi access points. We also have a 2.4 gigahertz radio. And of course, we all know that in high density Wi-Fi, 2.4 is usually not a good solution. So that's mainly used for IoT and other non-client or user-based network operations. And we also have BLE, or Bluetooth Low Energy, which is many times used for location tracking. In addition to our 4 radio access points, we have intelligence that we will talk about in more detail that allows you to use our spotlight technology and move and change the antenna beam to your coverage pattern that you need. So let's jump into this a little bit more and talk about what HD Wi-Fi does for you versus standard Wi-Fi. The Everest access point design approach is a little bit unique compared to those in the marketplace. Now, we will show a number of pictures here in stadium type of deployments, just because that's a natural location where we see high density. But this applies in every high density environment. So it's not just sporting and entertainment areas. We have seen so many times the conventional approach is to fit an enterprise AP into high density environments. So taking an access point that was designed for an office environment and putting it into a convention center that holds thousands. Usually that involves sometimes external antennas with multiple cables that become a fault point and can easily be mixed up. We have multiple APs putting into an HD environment, causing additional RF interference. And many times we have special enclosures in order to get those indoor enterprise APs into an outdoor type setting. The approach that we've taken with all of our products is to cover both the density and capacity as well as the coverage area. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a good cheat sheet to allow you to understand where our products fit in, starting from the bottom left with the AP300, which is designed as a dual radio indoor standard density Wi-Fi access point, all the way up to our quad NRE and our quad UNE, which are designed for outdoor. It's IP67 rated and is designed for long-range shots, and has been proven to be able to connect in high-density environments up to 150 to 200 feet with standard telephone mobile devices, and works extremely well, exceptionally well. Now, there are three pillars behind the Everest proprietary HD technology. We want to cover that just briefly. The first one is the Everest multi-radio HD. So in all of our HD access points, we have, as mentioned, 3 5 gigahertz radios. And it's important to understand that these are both TX and RX at the same time. There are others that have multi-radios, but they are not able to TX and RX at the same time. And then we also have the 2.4 as well. Number 2 is our Everest HD Spotlight Wi-Fi. So in our Spotlight Wi-Fi, what we're referring to there is highly directional antennas, very high-grade military spec antennas that are designed to put the coverage area where you want it and not necessarily let that RF energy bleed into areas that you don't want it. And lastly, we have our software-defined reconfigurable coverage. So every one of our HD access points has the ability via software to change and adjust the antenna pattern on the fly. How does the Spotlight technology work? If you look at a traditional omnidirectional access point, most omnidirectional access points have one radio, one antenna. So in a dual band, you would have 2 radios, 2 antennas. And in most cases, those are omnidirectional. In an omnidirectional type of environment, most of that RF energy is bled to the environment where only a small sliver actually gets to the user. It's usually done that way because what you're trying to do is allow for the largest coverage area. However, in our Spotlight technology, we are actually able to direct and point the signal to where it needs to go in order to get the user a better signal. And by providing the client device a better signal, of course, we're providing them faster throughput, because better signal equals faster throughput. And because it's a directional antenna environment, not only are you providing better throughput on the downlink, but also on the uplink. In addition to that, in a crowded environment, like a convention center where you don't have walls and other devices that will provide interference, then you also have less interference because of the directionality of our antennas. Now, we combine all of that technology with our wireless management system. Our wireless management system is a software-based product, zero-cost wireless management system that is able to be downloaded from our website and can be installed in multiple virtual environments, VMware, VirtualBox, etc. We also have controller-based hardware as well that we can use. The wireless management system is browser-based. It's designed to be very easy to use, but also have the extended features that every wireless engineer wants to have. We have a deep and rich mapping module that allows you to locate APs, monitor up-down status, as well as see vital statistics, including replay, going backwards and forwards in time in order to see usage, not only visually, but also to create customized reports that are good for not only a network engineer, but also a CEO or CFO or somebody that perhaps might not be into the wireless world as much. In addition to that, we have captive portal, both a built-in captive portal as well as external captive portal that we can tag into. And we also have a very, very rich artificial intelligence algorithm that helps us with our client load balancing. So the client load balancing helps us to not only manage our clients per AP, meaning intra AP, radio to radio, but also inter APs, meaning from one radio or one AP to another AP. We also have fast redundancy, meaning that we have full redundancy in our software so that if one controller goes down, you have a hot spare that immediately picks up, so you don't notice anything in the transition. There are some additional features that we can talk about. We could spend hours talking about just our wireless management system. This is designed to just give you a quick overview, and again, I'd encourage you to go to the website and to view more. In addition to these features, we have carrier offload, meaning that we can do data offload with third-party LTE carriers, data carriers. We have third-party analytics that we can offer. So with that, we can do location-based tracking. We can do special captive portal pages, as well as marketing, for example, location-based marketing, etc. So the idea behind all of this is that we are trying to give you end-to-end flexibility. On our installation, as far as the controller goes, we have the option to either be on-premise with a hardware controller, a private cloud where you can manage it yourself, or we have a public cloud option where you can put it, for example, into AWS. At this point, we do not currently host our own cloud, so we are giving that option to you, obviously, as managed service providers, so that you can be that cloud for your customer. Our software is extremely scalable. It's designed to work anywhere from one access point and just a few clients all the way up to thousands of access points and hundreds of thousands of clients. And again, at zero cost. Our density and coverage, again, our access points, what makes us special. We have not only our low density dual radio that compete with everyone on the market, but also, and more importantly, our high density dual radio and high density quad radios. These high density quad radios are able to provide a much better user experience for the end user than your standard Wi-Fi solution. And part of that is done by the spotlight coverage. That spotlight coverage makes us very different from everyone else. Now let's jump into some of the applications and look at how we've applied our technology and some of the results of those. These are actual use cases that we have deployed over the past 2 years as the product has, after it's been released. We've already mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles. They are our first large-scale deployment. Before that, we had a number of demos. Since that, we've had multiple large-scale deployments, including those that you see here. Many large festivals, like, for example, Coachella, Made in America, that are extremely tough to cover and have had very little success with other other technologies in the past, but have decided to use us in the future based on the performance that we were able to provide. So again, not only are we a good fit for stadiums and arenas, which is where we were really built, but we are being used and can be used in any type of environment where you have high density. So public space, casinos, we have a large footprint in casinos now, universities and education, as well as enterprise. Again, every enterprise office nowadays is turning into a high density environment because most everyone is going wireless now. Now, this is an extremely important slide to understand because this helps determine one of the reasons why our product has such a good TCO. Our total cost of ownership on our product is much lower than other competitors, simply based on the construction. So if you look, for example, at a stadium construction, there is a NFL stadium listed above that has 920 bowl APs in order to allow for the capacity. And off to the left, you'll notice that along with those 920 APs, you have all of the accessories you'll need to purchase, and more importantly, the construction. In most cases, we're going in and installing one access point using the Everest HD Wi-Fi APs versus a competitor's 3 or even 4 access points. So in most cases, we are saving you 3 times the amount on construction. If you look at the deployment at Everest and Lincoln Financial, the Philadelphia Eagles, we deployed only 200 bowl APs, which allowed for a much lower cost per client. Our cost per client is approximately $40 per client in a large-scale stadium-type deployment versus some of the others that you can see here, some stadiums that are much closer to $200 to $250 per client. Let's look at hospitality and casinos. This is a highlight of a casino that was looking for high-density Wi-Fi, not only for their guests, but also for the staff as well as their IoT. They scrapped the standard dual radio product that they had and tried our Everest HD solution, and we're extremely happy with the coverage and what we were able to give them. By utilizing the 3 5-gig radios, not only were we able to manage the density, but we also used the 2.4 for the IoT, and then in addition to that, we used a captive portal for the guest side and provided them location-based tracking, as well as data offload and location-based marketing as well. We've mentioned third-party providers, and so I wanted to highlight just 2 of them. We have others that we have done, but these are 2 of the more popular ones. Purple on the right-hand side is a good partner of ours that provides excellent Wi-Fi analytics, provides a good guest Wi-Fi experience for Captive Portal, and provides that location-based tracking. Kiana does the same thing, but they extend that and they go into security. So they are much more focused on security. And in multiple deployments with Kiana, we have actually used the Wi-Fi system to supplement the camera system to add an additional layer of security. So imagine an environment, convention center, a secure environment like a stadium or arena, where you know the devices that should be on site. With our location-based tracking and the Kiana package, you can actually track known devices and highlight unknown devices that are on site, so that you're not relying just on cameras to view an unknown person. You actually have digital feedback on security as well. It's been a great partnership that we value very highly. Now, here are some key differentiators. I won't go through and read all of these. You can read these on your own, but the idea is that we have tried to give the user and the network engineer additional tools in their toolbox in order to make your life easier. We give you a zero-cost network management system with flex control, meaning that we can do multiple different types of deployments, on-premise, off-premise, etc. 3 5 gigahertz radios for simultaneous broadcast and receive. One important thing is that all 3 of those 5 gig radios are able to use all of the 5 gig frequencies in the US. So everywhere is a little bit different, but we're able to use all of Uni 1, Uni 2, and Uni 3 with the one exception of channel 144. That can't be said for all of the products that do have multiple 5 gig radios. And you can read some additional features that make us different than the others. Last couple slides, and then we'll open it up to some questions. This is some feedback based on some of the shows that we've done, some of the deployments that we've done. Again, some of these are permanent deployments, some of these are temporary deployments that we have done where we've actually gone on tour with a number of bands, for example, like Bon Jovi took us on tour, and we did approximately 30 arenas around the country. And this is some of the feedback that we have seen. Lastly, we'll give you a quick overview of one of the events that we're probably most proud of, the NFC Opening the NFC Opening Game this season, 2018. We had an excellent performance at the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, why do I highlight this? Because we all know that a salesperson can promise that we can do a lot more for less. I've told you earlier that we can go into a high density environment and deploy less access points than the competition. Well, that's easy to do, but you've got to have the performance that stacks up against that. And we have been able to show that our product and our technology can outperform everyone else with the lower number of access points. These are quotes from the Philadelphia Eagles, and there is a website that we value very highly called Mobile Sports Report that actually keeps kind of a top 10 of Wi-Fi events, and we are proud to say that we are number 3 and number 6 currently on that list, only being surpassed by Super Bowl events. And this is looking at a 4 to 5 hour window of how much data is actually pushed on just the Wi-Fi. So again, just Wi-Fi, no LTE, no data over the mobile networks. This is all just Wi-Fi. And you can see for yourself, 10.86 terabytes, almost 70,000 users, 200 access points in that environment. and extremely good statistics for what we were able to do. So we're very proud of that event, as well as the others that we've done. Thank you very much for your time. Again, this was just designed to be a quick introduction to Everest Networks. There's a lot more that we can talk about, so I encourage direct calls if you'd like, or I'd encourage you to reach out to your Microcom representative where they can tell you more about our product and how it might fit into your offering.
Hey, Ryan, thank you very much. Julie McDonald back here. We enjoyed your presentation, and it looks like I do have some questions from audience members. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, since this is, like a new vendor and a new overview, can you give us information on the hours of support so that we can contact Everest Networks?
Yes, we are located. I'm glad you asked that question. Everest Networks has 3 offices: one in San Jose, which is our headquarters, San Jose, California; one in Montreal, Canada; and one in India. Our standard support hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, Pacific time. But we do have since we do have worldwide coverage with our offices, we do offer 24-hour support for customers as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, because that kind of goes right into my asking, are there courses or online training available for the Everest Networks products?
Great question. At this time, there are not. At this time, because it is so unique and so new, we are offering to help engineer deployments with end users, and that's through the Microcom sales rep. You can reach out to your Microcom sales rep, and they can reach us, and we will help to walk through and do a design with you. We are in the process of developing those tutorials and those training courses, which will be released probably in early 2019.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'm sure we can do that. Next question here. Are you starting to create groups or forums that one can join and follow online?
Great question. We have not yet. We are building our website as we speak, and that is it's funny you ask. That's one of the things that I've been asking for. So we will have a forum on our website. I encourage you to go to everestnetworks.com, where that forum should be online within the next 2 weeks.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Next question here. Will Everest Networks be creating, or do you have, maybe this is part of what you're going to be doing, a design tool that we could use to assist customers?
Excellent question. We are in the process of putting together a design tool. That design tool probably won't be released until mid-2019. In the meantime, there are a couple of different options. Number one is, as I mentioned, we have an inside sales force that is able and willing to help design and walk through with individual customers on our design philosophy. In addition to that, we already have our products in Ekahau. If you are an Ekahau customer, you can see our multi-radio APs in the newest release of the Ekahau database. And we will very shortly be in IBWave. So we have some private IBWave files that we can send to users that are IBWave licensed, and very soon that will be in the publicly available database as well. But all of those tools should help you to use our product to design.
Sounds very good. Thank you for that, Ryan. Next question here. Does Everest Network support multi-SSID bandwidth control per device or per radio?
Good question. So at this point, we are able to do bandwidth utilization based on SSID. So yes, we do bandwidth utilization based on SSID, and we are expanding that capability. So right now, the capability is that you can prioritize and limit one SSID over others. And we are continuing to expand that as we get more requests in the marketplace.
Excellent, thank you. Next question here. Are access point enclosures required? And if so, are they weather resistant?
Excellent question. So yeah, one thing that I probably failed to go into enough detail on is that our access points that are for radio specifically are all built-in enclosures with antennas. So we have integral antennas with no external antennas. So right now at this point, we do not have an option for any external antennas, simply because honestly, from a design point of view, we have so many radios and so many antennas. You can imagine 4 radios, all 4x4, going to 4x4 antennas. You're talking about a huge number of antenna leads that you'd need in order to connect that all together. So right now, everything is integrated. We do have indoor and outdoor enclosures. All of our outdoor enclosures are IP67 rated and can be outdoors in every type of environment.
Excellent, thank you. Couple more questions. Let's see here. They have integrated 20 dBi antennas. Can you connect external antennas for specific models?
At this point, no. As I mentioned in the last answer, we at this point only have the integral antenna options, and each access point model will vary based on those antenna options. In the future, we are looking to do external antenna options, but that will be in the future at some point.
Thank you very much for that. Last question here. If we need any type of advanced support, is there costs involved with that? No. Right now, again, because we are a introduction, we are a new company and we are just introducing ourselves to the marketplace. We are offering free pre-sale support through Microcom. So if you reach out to your Microcom sales partner and they will reach out to us, we are offering that pre-sale support at no cost. In the future, yes, we will. As we continue to grow and expand, as you all know, that most technology companies are not able to do that in the long run, but we are offering that now as an introduction for our new customers that are willing to give us a shot. Excellent, and I'm sure as things change and grow, we can talk more about those things on future webinars. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ryan, for answering all of those questions, and thank you to everyone for attending today's webinar. If you have any further questions, of course, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned and shown here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Ryan, appreciate everything you showed us here today. Excellent education on what's going on with Everest Networks. Your time and your presentation was very well enjoyed. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye now.